Finance Economic Development Committee. It is now 1:36, and we are continuing with Department of Environmental Management. And so members, we are still on page 5 of Bill 41. And does anybody have any A column, which is personnel adjustments? Member?
Sorry, I have some adjustments. It's not, shoot, I had my caps lock on, sorry. Okay. Oh, it's B column. Are we not on B column yet?
Oh, yes, we can do B column. Sorry, in admin, B column.
Okay, I move to cut B5 small a paren 1 B category by $15,000.
Second.
This is for
Wait, motion made by member Paulton, second by Chair Lee. B5A.
this is for the additional costs related to the expansion position, furniture. I don't think it's realistic the second position would be created and hired within the fiscal year, necessitating the furniture, which $15,000 for one piece of furniture, for one staff's furniture seems a bit high anyway.
Okay. Any discussion, members? See none. Okay, ready to vote? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so this is 9 ayes, motion carries. Wow, we have member Senensi here. Thank you for coming in person. Thank you. And member Rollins Fernandez is online, but if anybody sees her making, let me know.
$200,000 with a fringe of $148,840. And I didn't break out the fringes because I don't have the formula that they utilize for that. It's not straight like how you would think, because I did the math and it didn't add up.
Okay. Staff, you got that? All right. Members, you got that? You ready to vote? Okay.
Getting approximately 32% of carryover savings in this category from fiscal year 24 to lower sewer rate increases, proposed sewer rate increases.
Good reason. Okay, members, any questions? Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Say aye.
To cut $300,000 plus a fringe of $223,260.
Second.
Okay, motion made by member Paulton, second by Chair Lee.
This would cut approximately 31% of carryover savings in this category to lower the proposed sewer rate increases.
Okay, any discussion, members? If not, all in favor, please vote. Aye. Raise your hand. Member Senensi is, okay, everybody, that's 9 ayes, motion carries.
My next cut, I move to cut B5 small c paren 1 category B, $1 million.
Oh,
Second.
okay. Motion made by member Paulton, and we'll give the second to member Johnson.
Cutting a small percentage of carryover savings in this category to lower the sewer rate.
Members, all in favor? Discussion, see none. Raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All right, 9 ayes, motion carries.
And then when we get to rates and fees, I have my new proposed increase, but I don't know if you want to go there now.
Yeah, let's finish,
Okay,
and then we'll go there.
so now we're on solid waste, Member Cook.
Member Cook. Member Cook, yeah. Details, yeah, you're referencing.
Pardon?
In the details you're referencing. Did you get that?
Yes, Chair. So in the budget bill, we'd reflect that as a $345,000 reduction from Category B for the Solid Waste Operations Program.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Motion made by Member Cook, second by Member Hodgins. So that's on page 6 of Bill 41, about the middle. Thanks. Member Cook.
Basically, just looking at the fact that they can, I believe they can wait on that as far as the rental space, availability of rental space. They're in the process of moving. We're also in the process of building other areas out. So I think it's an area that can be cut back without hurting anything.
Okay, Member Paulton.
I can yield to the seconder if she had.
I was just wondering if you want to cut the whole thing, if in case they do need some money as we wait to build things, or did you talk to them and we can remove all 345?
I believe that they have funding in other areas that they can compensate for it if they need it.
Okay, Member Paulton.
So then is the goal to reduce the supplemental transfer to the solid waste fund?
Good call. Yes.
It's to cut it. I believe that's general funds.
The solid waste fund. So you'd like to lower the cost that we pay at the $5 or the
$4.
No.
No. This, I believe, I just want to eliminate that line item for rentals.
Okay.
Okay, Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo for signature. Mahalo, Member Cook, for the proposal. What Member Paulton was asking is, since you're going to be reducing the expense, you have to reduce the revenue side too. So what would be your corresponding amendment on the revenue side? Is it to reduce the general fund supplemental transfer to solid waste?
Yes.
Okay. Mahalo.
Okay. Okay, anything else, members? Ready to vote? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All right, 9 ayes, motion carries. Okay. Next, anybody else?
My next ones are for the next program.
Okay. So you're going to EP&S.
Okay, I move to cut from B5F paren 1 category A $38,864 plus $28,922 of fringe.
Okay, need a second. Okay, motion made by Member Paulton, second by Member Hodgins.
This is a complete cut of expansion funding, but not the position. So if they have monies with the vacancy and are able to create the position, they can hire. I think that's a bit ambitious, knowing that Ms. McLinden left, Ms. Herman left, and they are not able to hire a supervisor yet. I did speak with Director Agawa this morning. Their top candidate said even with the supplemental, it wasn't enough, and that even if they had tried to pay him what he wanted, it would be in line with what Mr. Nakagawa and Mr. Kihano makes, which doesn't seem right because they supervise, hundreds of employees. Their second top candidate took another job already, and so they have a lot of vacancies to fill without adding more positions. But if they can create the position and fill some of the vacancies, possibly next year, I would be supportive of funding it.
Okay. All right, members, anybody else have any thoughts? Member Rollins Fernandez? No? Okay. All in favor, members, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 9 ayes. All 9 ayes? Motion carries. Thank you.
My next cut is in the same section, but category B of 10,000 corresponding to the furniture from the expansion position. It's actually 7,700 probably, but I feel like carryover can make up the difference, and our minimum cut is 10 grand anyway.
That's right. Okay, so you want that motion?
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's what I move.
Second.
Okay, Member Paulton, second by Chair Lee. Motion, you want to say anything?
I skipped a step and went with the discussion prior to getting the second and being recognized.
Oh, okay. So motion and Chair Lee made the second. Okay, that's it?
No further discussion.
No further discussion. All right. Members, any questions? See none, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
What are we saying aye to?
A $10,000 cut from B5F.
Oh, I thought we voted on that already. Oh, okay, sorry.
Chair,
Yes,
are we going to go through our priorities too?
eventually. We're getting there.
Okay, because that's where she is where mine is. Close to it anyway.
Okay, are you done?
Did you record the vote on that last vote?
Um,
I voted aye.
9 ayes. Yeah,
Okay, I have one more cut.
okay.
I move to cut B5F paren to 400,000, and if I get a second, I'll explain.
Second.
Motion made by Member Paulton, second by Chair Lee. 400,000.
So there are at least 3 key vacancies in EPNS, and I forgot for a little while when we transferred the OED grants over to EPNS last fiscal year, we gave them 2 additional positions to handle the disbursement of those grants. Now we know that 2 of their key people have left, and they are not going to hire a manager anytime soon. So it's not my support of the program. The concern is the capacity to get these monies out in the allotted fiscal year with the addition of all the line item council member priorities. So I did see a lot of the council members are putting in their priorities of who exactly they want to go to. And with the known reduction in staff and vacancies, my feeling is that that's where the focus of the limited staff should be, is getting that money out that council member put as their priorities, rather than vetting additional new applicants. It's not a 100% cut, it's like a reduction, so there is also money for new ideas that pop up. It's not that I'm not supportive. My concern is capacity.
Okay, anybody else have anything to add to that? Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. That was to MISC? Which line item was that?
Number 2.
Number 2. Oh, okay. You said 400,000.
Yes. That I believe
Mahalo,
is an
clarification.
increase that I read. Let me try to find it. It's on budget details, page 7-17, 919730B 6317. In the continuation, it's a additional 400,000 in that column. So I'm not expanding that continuation because capacity is my concern. And in terms of environmental protection grants, in looking over the members' priorities, I think we make up for that amount. So it's kind of more directed spending as opposed to open call spending, which would take more staff time to evaluate and vet proposals.
Okay, thank you. All right, members, ready to vote? No more questions. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Member Kama? Member Kama? Staff was talking to you. Okay. All in favor, say, I'm sorry, 9 ayes. Motion carries. Okay, Member Fulton.
At this point, I have the rates and fees changes for the sewer fund and my own personal priority, and I will proceed as directed.
Okay, when we take up rates and fees, so, okay, so EPNS, then we're done with operations. Any cuts, changes for operations? CIP. So it is on page 23 to 24. Members, you have any proposed amendments to CIPs for the Department of Environmental Management? 23 and 24.
Well, is it too late for me to add something
Oh, what?
for EPNS,
Well, you-
under the grants program?
Okay, please proceed. Oh,
After she's done, I had a question about the CIPs.
okay.
Okay, so this, yesterday we seem to have been including our priorities as we went through.
Oh, we're not
each
done.
de-
We're not there yet.
Okay,
We will get there.
we will get there. Okay, all right, thank you. Then I'll wait.
Okay, good. Then we'll take everybody up all together. You have a question about CIPs?
Yeah, that time that member Hodgins said, like, remember how I used to cut positions with their position ID number and like that? And then member Hodgins said, can we just do a 5% reduction? And they're like, yeah, you can. And I'm like, what the heck have I been doing all this time? Wasting my time. And so I was wondering if we could do something similar in the CIPs, because they have all these projects and they explain to us, sometimes they don't have control over which one moves forward. And if we just cut some money and whichever one can move forward, they can go to that. So that's my question.
Okay, so your question is, can we cut CIP a percentage?
Or
And not,
just money, and I see Director Milner, so maybe she knows.
Director, and I think probably Director Agawa is sitting next to you, but please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Paulton. So CIPs are a little bit different than the operating budget. The operating budget, it's all just the A category. So it's easy to make a percentage cut. It's not all just one number for CIPs. It's project specific. So you would need to cut a specific project. It can't just be an overall cut. Thank you, Chair.
Shucks, I got nothing then. It's on you guys. I did my part.
Okay, okay, so that's the answer then. I'm looking at the handout that staff gave you regarding CIP projects, and I don't see anything for environmental management. There's EPNS. Let me look at EPNS.
It's on the budget bills, the CIP Appendix C,
Yeah.
Countywide Environmental Compliance System Design and Construction, Solid Waste Master Plan. I mean, they all seem pretty important. I don't think that they can get to all of them personally, but like they said, they don't have control over which ones move forward in the permitting process and like that. So personally, I don't feel comfortable monkeying around, especially with the Lahaina ones.
Okay, I have a question.
I definitely want those to move forward. I'm sure everyone wants their own district projects to move forward. So personally, I don't feel super comfortable monkeying around with that stuff.
Okay, I have a question based upon what you just said. Because Chair Lee has been questioning DR, right? So I'm just wondering, and Member Paulton, you may know, that the West Maui projects that have or are with CIP, is there a possibility that it will be covered with DR funds? And we don't know, right? Because we don't know what the action plan was and what the details are, because
They have that pie chart in the action plan, and the buckets, the biggest bucket was for housing, infrastructure, public services, and administration and wildfire mitigation. The infrastructure needs to serve the low to moderate income category, the 80% and below. And I imagine it would be infrastructure that serves the housing that they want to build, or, you know, more evacuation routes and things like that, not necessarily R1 expansion and Napili pump projects. But somebody from the Department of Management is obviously in that pay bracket that could answer it better than I.
Shirley?
Yeah. See, I did like Member Paulton's suggestion, which was similar to Member Uhajan's suggestion on salaries, but this would be CIP. We know for a fact they can't do all the projects. We know that. They can't even do what they have now. Okay, so the point is, if it's not reasonable to cut a lot, a percentage of their proposed budgets on CIP, I would suggest that they let us know which projects can be cut,
Okay.
rather than us guessing and making the wrong decision. We know, let's everybody agree that they can't do it all, so which ones would go first, 1, 2, 3? I mean, otherwise we're going to have to put other conditions on these projects.
Okay.
Because even with the Ohana Assistance Program, you can't collect 10 cents until you have a permit in hand. So this is the same principle. They should not be able to proceed without X requirement. So that's my position, and I believe that we should not necessarily just gloss over this, that we should hold their feet to the fire and make them tell us what their priorities are and what can be cut or deferred or reduced. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Staff, you heard the discussion, right? So.
In one of their answers, they did prioritize.
So can you pull that up and, at the right time? I don't know how long it's going to take you to find that, but maybe then we can share it with the members and they can figure out what, if they want to eliminate some of the lower priorities, because they did put it in priorities.
Chair, so for Department of Environmental Management and EM1, they did identify they did prioritize their projects. That's number 14 in Granicus. The page numbers that we want to look at, it's page 21 of the PDF, page 15 of their response from that point on. And they have priorities, they separated into solid waste division priorities and then wastewater reclamation division's priorities. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so can you share it with us so that they don't have to go look for it?
Oh, yeah, we can email out the PDF.
Okay, then that'll add to your question, or answer your question, right? So in there, it has the priorities that the department sent. So Chair Lee's looking for where can we cut, right? So,
To clarify too, like when I look at their thing, they have wastewater fund, sewer, solid waste fund, general obligation bond, lapse bond funding. None of them are really general funded. So, I mean, I'm not sure. We could, if we cut from the wastewater fund, then maybe there wouldn't be any increase in sewer, but I haven't done that math. If we cut from the solid waste fund, I guess we could reduce supplemental transfer. But I mean, we're not gonna find more cash, I believe. So I guess what is the goal
Yeah.
also?
So Chair Lee, you heard the question, right? So the question, based upon Member Paulton, she's asking what is the goal? Is it to find cash or is this to reduce the number of projects?
If general funds or cash is not involved, we could reduce a bond.
Okay.
You know, in other words,
Trying
yeah.
to reduce the number of projects.
Yeah, we can defer. We could defer the project. Or just say, you know, that the condition is that before the project can proceed or something like that, X has to be achieved. You know, in other words, these projects don't just go out and build them. They have to plan and design them and get all the approvals. They go with land use, just like anybody else.
Okay,
Yeah?
yeah.
So it's not like it's going to happen overnight.
Okay, so when we get the list, you're going to share it with the members. Okay, thank you. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to leave the CIPs alone. I understand the intent of this, conversation about the finances. I think the CIP projects have enough hurdles and challenges as it is. We don't necessarily have the power or the authority to eliminate the permitting and approval process, which would enable them to get these things done more promptly and predictably. But anyway, my conversations with the various departments, and since it's a mix of general funds, bond funds, state revolving funds, I would like to leave the CIP project budgeting alone. Thank you.
Okay, Member Johnson.
Chair, I'm looking at two projects that I'm curious if we can move to bond. And I don't know if Director Milner can speak to it, but, and this is just for discussion, members, so FOG, FOG, and Lanai Recycling Center, maybe they how are they getting funding? Can we move them to bond?
Ms. Milner.
Thank you, Chair. I will look at that. They're currently funded under the EPNS fund. I don't believe we included that on our list of projects to move to bond, but I will double check and get right back to all of you. Thank you.
Okay, you had two projects. Member Johnson.
You want me to restate them again?
Yeah. Can you?
The FOG, F-O-G, I know that's an acronym. Fats, Oils, and Grease, I knew that's what it was. And then the Lanai Recycling Center. And I'm just curious if we can move them to bonds, because I hear where Councilmember Cook's coming from. You know, there's a lot of complicated capital stacks, but if we can bond it instead of using cash, I think that's where we could kind of reach out what Chair Lee is saying in regards to we do have to find some money for these big proposals our council members are proposing.
Chair?
Yes.
So Budget Director did provide a response relating to general funded projects that are bond eligible. It's letter BD 18, and Granicus, it's number 172.
Did you say that?
Yes, BD 18. Staff will note that the list does not contain anything for Department of Environmental Management for that.
Oh, this is one we just got. So the whole list of all the CIP projects, they're saying that only these are eligible to be bonded.
Oh, apologies. I guess the clarification is that the list only has general fund projects. I suppose if there's ones that are related to solid waste, that's not included on this list.
Okay, so, Member Johnson, we'll wait for, Director then, Milner, to answer your question. Oh, there she is. Director.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. I just quickly reviewed the descriptions in Appendix C. It looks like both of those projects are in the planning design phase. We do not generally bond projects in planning and design, as there's no guarantee that that will turn into a capital asset. So we prefer to use other funding sources for that. And then once we get to the construction phase, we move to bond. Thank you, Chair.
And the price doesn't include the construction monies, right? That's, of course not, right?
Those were anticipated for future fiscal years.
Thank you. Worth a shot.
Yeah.
We keep fishing.
Okay, we keep fishing, so we take yours off. Chair Lee, did you say something?
No, I'm encouraging everybody to keep thinking about it, you know. We'll find a way, you know. Thanks.
Okay. All right, anything else for CIP then? Member Kama?
Well, I don't have anything with CIP. I just wanted to ask, Member Cook, if you could repeat what you said about the CIPs, that we don't have control over, as you were,
Okay, Chair,
oh yeah, that's what I
Yes.
wanted to.
may I?
Yes.
I said that one of the major impediments to implementing the CIP projects is often the permitting, land use and permitting approvals, and the council doesn't have control over that. The administration is in their kuleana, but they have their challenges too, as far as, because some of it is state issues and SMAs and other stuff. That's what I was referring to. So the delays and the predictability of when a project could be completed is really a tough one to deal with. I didn't want to add any more obstacles or hurdles.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
thank you. All right, so it doesn't look like we have any more than for CIP. Well, we heard from Ms. Milner. All right, members, you want to move on? Member Paulton, are you looking for CIP?
No, I'm trying to get ready for when you are ready for rates and fees.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Appendix A, Part 1, Grants, and it's Budget Bill 41, page 40. Anybody have any amendments? Page 40, Appendix A.
Appendix 1.
Okay, see none? All right, so none. Appendix A, Part 2, which is page 47 on DEM. It is NASCA Sewage Pump Station Fund, page 47. Highway Beautification, Abandoned Vehicle, and Tourism-Related Traffic Congestion Revolving Fund, pages 47 and 48. Countywide Sewer Capital Improvement Reserve Fund, page 54, and Vehicle Disposal Fee Fund. Any amendments? Page 56. Seeing none? Okay. Appendix B, right here you go. Tomorrow, rates and fees. So Appendix B, pages 4 to 10.
Thank you, Chair. Based on BD08, the estimated impact on revenue, I think the sewer fund with the increased rates and fees was hoping to raise $5,741,700. So I decreased $2,870,850 from the budget, and so that's approximately 50%. So then I cut all the increases 50%. So starting with single family and duplex dwelling served by county water system per dwelling unit per month, the new monthly base charge would be $46 instead of $51. Oh, do I need to make
Yeah.
how do you want me to do? I move to amend
Rates and fees.
in rates and fees, page 4, the monthly base charge of single-family and duplex dwellings served by county water system per dwelling unit per month from $51 to $46.
Second.
Okay. So motion made by Member Paulton, second by Member Johnson, and you have a question?
Yeah, I'm wondering if Member Paulton can make it an all-in-one motion and we not go individual. It would save us some time and some voting, plus we already made the corresponding changes in the budget. We already voted on those, so if she could just do it in one motion instead of all of them, so we have 46, and then, is it okay if we
Yep.
continue and do it all in one? Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay. Moving along, for single-family and duplex dwellings not served by county water system per month, I'd like to amend the flat rate per dwelling unit from $72.50 to $70.
Second.
Oh,
Oh, we're gonna
it's
do
gonna
all-
be all one time.
Oh, all in one.
And then for condominiums and multifamily dwellings served by county water system per dwelling unit per month, I'd like to move the monthly base charge from $51 to $46. For multifamily dwellings not served by county water system per month, I'd like to move the flat rate per dwelling unit from $61 to $58. For others per month per dwelling unit, Hali'i Maili, from $22 to $21.38. For residential care homes, from $105.50 to $103.50. For the monthly use charge for non-residential, I'd like to change it from monthly base charge per meter per month from $36 to $31.25. Without irrigation meter rate for commercial from $7.30 to $7.10. For hotels from $9.10 to $8.88. For industrial restaurant food service establishment, commercial with restaurant food service establishment from $11.40 to $11.20. For U.S. government from $7.30 to $7.10. From state, county, and religious, all from $7.30 to $7.10. With irrigation meter rate, commercial from $10.40 to $9.93. Hotels from $13 to $12.63. Commercial with restaurant food service establishment from $16.30 to $15.83. U.S. government from $10.40 to $9.93, and same for state, county, and religious. For Kuala Pu'u, flat rate per month from $72.50 to $70. For private septic disposal per 1,000 gallons or less of waste for private haulers that haul waste to the county sewage treatment system from $128.50 to $125.75. For rate per 1,000 gallons for major agriculture from 38 cents to 37 cents. Rate per 1,000 gallons for agriculture from 48 cents to 47 cents. Rate per 1,000 gallons for all other users from 165 to 163. And when it was half a cent, I just rounded up. So that's my motion. As I was reading it, I realized I just went 50% across the board. So if
Second.
everyone else, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for doing all that work. Was there a second?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, from Chair Lee. Okay, motion made by Member Paulton, second by Chair Lee. Any discussion?
Chair, can I please ask Member Paulton to repeat the others per month for dwelling unit for the Hali'i Maile again? Thank you.
Yeah, it's from $22 to $21.38.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
I realized as I was reading it, I just was doing the math and not reading the words. And if I had read the words, maybe I wouldn't have given hotels and others the thing. But I just was doing straight math. So it was late at night and it was a long day.
Fairness.
It's also not too late.
Yeah. So if
it's
somebody
still a long
wanted to
day.
amend that on the fly, but my brain is tapped out.
Okay, members, any discussion? Okay, yes, Member Johnson.
The single-family and duplex dwellings not served by county water system per month, that's the entire island of Lanai. We don't have county water on Lanai. And I think that was at 70 was your response. And then the hotel was, let me flip that over. find that. That was at 888, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to do is maybe reduce the price of the Lanai one and add it to the hotel one.
40.
That way they can get a break too, because they are paying way more because we don't have county water, right? So,
That's the assumption.
let's see, that's
Sorry.
a dollar. Could I bring that, okay, can I make
Can I
it?
take a little recess? Right, to discuss?
If you allow me a little public math, I don't mind it, if you guys just bear with
This
me.
was on Exhibit A.
Budget director's here.
Okay, maybe, thanks for that. Director Milner?
Thank you, Chair. Based on the CFR, every sewer user has to pay their fair share. So the sewer department, or the DEM, has a lot of algorithms that they run things through to generate these rates and fees. So it's not really an arbitrary process. So I guess what I would request is if you could table this for now, I can talk to DEM, have them run it through their system based on the cuts that were made and come back with a proposal if the body would agree. Thank you, Chair.
Member Paulton, you okay?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so we'll come back to it. Thank you, Ms. Milner. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Before we table the motion, I think it would be good to finish Member Johnson's thought so that Ms. Milner can also get the estimates based on what Member Johnson is trying to propose. Like, you don't have to do the math. Like, what is the rate that you're proposing, Member Johnson?
Okay, I would propose from 70 is Councilmember Paulton's proposal, and drop a dollar off to make it 69, and then put that dollar onto the hotels.
So this is private water
Well,
system, right?
Right. But it went from 865 to 910 to 888. So, well, okay, maybe I could go in reverse and say, keep hotels at 910, and that difference from 888 to 910, and that difference goes to the Lanai district. So does that make sense to go in reverse from that, or do you want me to? No, that doesn't make sense.
Wait, what?
I think what, I hear you, Member Johnson. I'm happy to support it when we have the math, but I think what Director Milner was saying is we don't know if it's like even, so if you change it, we don't know how many meters are in one section and how many meters are in another, or how many whatever collections we collect from to make it even. So maybe we can ask her to provide us the math that allows for a reduction of $69 in the Lanai fee, and then have her let us know the total that would be shifted over, the burden would be shifted over to the other section.
Right.
Okay.
That's one way. I thought going backwards might make it, because if they got, let's say just for simple math, if the hotel's got 10 cents off, we don't take 10 cents off the hotel, we go and take 10 cents off of the Lanai whole island, you know, except for the hotels on there, so.
Here's Ms. Milner.
No,
Director
I hear
Milner.
you, but if there's like
Budget.
4 in one section and 28 in
Thank you.
another, then the numbers don't add up.
Yeah.
So, but maybe we can get to the number you want for the Lanai rate, and then they can they can transfer the responsibility on another entity.
Yeah.
Okay, here's,
And I think what Budget Director Milner said is that it's not simple math.
Right, okay.
Director Milner.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, council members. So part of it is it's not simple math, and part of it is that the federal law states that everyone has to pay their fair share.
Oh, boy.
So it's not a matter of being able to reduce one and have the other pick up the burden. It has to be distributed equitably under federal law. So that's part of the complicated math. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah,
How come we gotta follow federal laws and not the president?
okay.
right?
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Good point, Member Johnson. I have a question for Budget Director Milner. And I'm sure this isn't an easy question or like a quick question to answer. But since it was said, I just was curious how, you know, I forget, you think you said fair? Everyone's going to pay their fair share. So how is that calculated? Like, how is it determined what is fair?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Rollins Fernandez. So that's part of the algorithms that the department has developed. They've developed an algorithm and a spreadsheet to look at what is considered a fair share. When I provide the numbers, I can provide you a little more detail on how that works.
Mahalo for that answer. Mahalo, Chair.
Okay, we'll wait for her answer. So we're
Do you
gonna,
want
we're gonna
me to
table this.
withdraw or table?
We'll just table it,
Okay.
and we'll see if we have to change any of it at that time. All right, so we're gonna move on. Thanks for doing all that. Sure.
Thank you so much. So, Budget Director Milner, because Member Paulton did an even 50% cut, that would follow the algorithm of federal fairness, or?
Probably not, because.
I think so, because you made all the same cuts, yeah?
But we don't know the revenue from each cut. Like some, like
Your mic.
Kali'i Miley is so small that, I mean, I don't know what algorithm they're using, but I didn't use no algorithm. I just divided by 2.
Yeah. The delta, but you divided the increase by 2, yeah. But it was the same for everything. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Just a point of information.
Yes.
Lanai pays over $200 more a year than the rest of the county, you know, for the sewer. So that is where my concern comes in. You know, we don't have a county water, and we pay for that because we don't have it per household.
Okay, everybody, good. So, next we're gonna go to your departmental members' priorities. So in the matrix that you received, it is on page 6 of the matrix, and we'll start, are you ready? We're gonna start with Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I'll start with a motion, I guess. I move to increase the amount by $300,000 for a total of $525,000 to increase the supplement transfer to the EPS fund accordingly for the Section F, number 6, grant to Maui Nui Marine Resource Council. If I can get a second, I'll explain more.
Okay, Member Johnson made the motion, second by Member Sinensi.
Thank you. Thank you, members. Of course, this was a duplicate with Councilmember Sugimura, who was focusing on the HUI in regards to the Water Quality Monitor Program. There's several things that they would be doing in addition to the very important Water Quality Monitor Program. They would have 123 going towards reef health assessments. They would have 50,000 for reef restoration. That's that's South Maui, it would be in particular where they're focusing on. The 50,000, or I'm sorry, that's 50,000 reef restoration in South Maui, 148K in outreach, and 79,000 for staffing full-time 4 positions and part-time 4 positions. Members, you heard them come out in several of our district meetings on they came and testified and talked about the importance of our reef, and I just ask for the members' full support of my motion. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, any questions? Remember, did you find it? Have you found it on the spreadsheet?
Number 6, the second one down, or page 6, second one down.
Okay, very good. Any discussions? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 9 ayes. Motion carries.
Thank you, members.
Member Johnson, that's your only one, yeah? Okay, next, Member Hodgins.
Thank you, Chair. On Budget Bill 7, number 11 for Malama Hamakui Maui, I move to increase the proposed amount by $15,000, making it $40,000 for Malama Hamakua Maui. And if I get a second, I can continue to explain why.
Okay, Member Uhajians, second by Member Kama. Go ahead.
Thank you. As you heard from the community meetings in Paia, they do wonderful work on behalf of the county, taking care of the open space. And with the increased amount of funds, they can expand their footprint of beautification.
Any other okay, good. Any other discussion? I think we heard them. All in favor, members? No discussion? Raise your hand, say aye. Aye, okay. 9 ayes, motion carries. Okay. Member Senency? I have revolving fund 2 for highway beautification fund. It's his priority.
Thank you, Chair. This one was to insert a new condition to the already existing fund, up to $100,000 for the removal of trash and abandoned materials and vehicles. And this would be for highway beautification, abandoned vehicle, tourism-related traffic congestion on the, could be on the Hana Highway, Chair, the Pi'ilani Highway, or the Hono Pi'ilani Highways, or whichever.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Member Senency, second by Member Paulson. Any discussion? Any further discussion?
Is this a replacement? I didn't see it on the paper. Or what page on our packet?
Yeah, this was on Appendix A, Part 2, Special Purpose Revenues.
Or, I mean...
On the matrix.
Is it on the matrix?
Oh, sorry, on the matrix.
Page 25 on the matrix.
Oh, thank you.
25.
Yeah, I had a...
Oh, okay.
Full support.
25 on the matrix, okay. So that's the top one, right?
Yes.
On this page, okay. Okay, members, any questions?
I just was wondering, aren't they supposed to do this anyway with this money?
And these are, again, we've been working, Chair, we've been working with some of the advocates, and you're right, but this, the county, Public Works would normally do this. The monies would be for maybe other nonprofits or people that want to apply to help clean up. I know.
I guess my only concern is I thought that they do this with this money, and would the up to 100,000 be interpreted as limiting? Because I don't want limits. I want them to use all the money to remove trash and abandoned materials and vehicles.
We just put it for, and I'm not sure if maybe like the Amala place, areas of encampments, cove, some of the camps that might be around it may need additional removal of trash. I know Paia might have some for removal of trash on Holomua. So that was the original intention, to add this for some of the advocates to help clean up specific camps.
Would it be better to not say up to 100,000 and say
Or you want to utilize, because it's the fund is already there. You just don't want to limit it to.
The fund is already there, and it looks like, they need to use 132,476 for personnel. They need to use 1,279,711. Is 100,000 the balance of what is already earmarked, the balance of the 2,361,312? Because 50,000 is for trash pickup at Hamakualoa. 347,083 is for street tree trimming. 30,000 teens on call. 1.279,711 for operations and service for EPNS. So I just, if their plan was to use more than 100,000 for removal of cars, I just didn't want to limit us to 100,000 is my only concern. If they use all of the excess money to do that, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can add it up. And so up to whatever's available after what's listed in the fund.
If it's more than 100,000, I would say at least 100,000 is as the balance. Oh, Ms. Milner, thank you for helping us.
Ms. Milner.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, council members. I think I would just say, based on some of the council member Sinensi's comments, if the intention is this for these funds to be grants for nonprofits, I think we should specify that. So either up to or at least whatever the dollar amount must be for grants for the removal of trash and abandoned materials and vehicles. I think would accomplish your purposes. Thank you, Chair.
Oh, like for the corporation development for Moyu? Okay, let's do that. Let's name her.
Okay.
Okay, so what is it?
What is the balance?
Sorry, Member Rollins Fernandez and Ulu Hodgins had their hands up.
Okay, Member Rollins Fernandez?
Mahalo, Chair. Member Senency, if your intention is to direct it to a specific nonprofit or multiples nonprofits, I think you should name them. Otherwise, is the intention to open it up as an RFP, because then that just makes it take longer for it to be available to, folks to then write applications, and then the department would then have to develop like a program and an application process. And so I don't know if it's going to be grant, then there would have to be an application process. And I guess if it's going to be like a contract, then it would be an RFP process. Or if you put the organization that you intend it to go to, then there wouldn't be either. Then it would just go directly to the organizations you intend.
Yeah, I think I like the latter.
Oops. Go ahead.
Chair, I can provide that if you give me a little bit
Okay.
time.
Member Hodgins?
Thank you, Chair. So on budget details 7-87, they are expanding the county subsidies by 100,000, which was already 300,000, to make it a total of 400,000 for this exact purpose. Did you want to condition that fund, or did you want to add on to it? And then I have more after you give me some detail.
This is for did you say the highway beautification fund?
Yeah, so
That
they're
one.
already adding onto it. So are you conditioning this money,
Yeah.
or are you adding onto it? You're conditioning this money to your grant, your nonprofit grant.
Right, and Member Rollins Fernandez said it would be better or easier to name the nonprofit so that they wouldn't have to go through the process. But
Sure.
originally it was 100,000 for grants for the removal of trash and abandoned materials, and vehicles.
Okay. Personally, I wouldn't support for a nonprofit to be removing vehicles, because then I would assume that you would need like a right of entry, and they would have to contract with a toll company that would have to probably go through the county and need a right of entry, and that's a specialized job, removing vehicles. I would support this conditioning this fund for the nonprofit for removing of trash and abandoned materials. But vehicles, I think we would put ourselves in a liability if we ask the nonprofit to do it when the county does it as well. And we've increased funding substantially for the removal of abandoned vehicles. Oh, so, sorry, Member Cook. So if,
Got it.
I won't be supporting this unless you wanted to change that, and then I'm happy to support it, but thank you.
Member Sinensi.
Yeah, I can take, because already the fund has monies, leftover monies, to do the vehicle removal. So I can just keep it to trash and abandoned materials, up to 100,000 for grants for the removal of trash and abandoned materials, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, all the hands are up. Member Kava, Member Johnson, who else? Member Paulton. I can't see Member Rollins Hernandez. Okay, go ahead, Member Kava.
Member Sinensi, your question regarding this is priority. So the group that you have in mind already has been doing this work previously, and they do have some money left over that would probably be for the removal of the vehicles, that you can allow the rest of the funding to go for the removal of trash and other kinds of abandoned materials.
Yes.
Is that right? You do. So how were they removing the vehicles prior? Were they calling a tow truck to come do it, or were they hauling it off themselves, or what?
I think the county was doing most of that for Amala Place.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Holomua, but they were also doing it for Holomua.
Yeah.
So if it's like Member Uhajan said,
Yeah,
if it's
then it
just for
makes sense.
nonprofits, maybe we'll just keep it at the trash
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be able to bring in like a container so that they could just dump things and then haul it away versus.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay.
So,
Good.
I don't know who was next. Member Paulton is next?
I'm, as the seconder, I'm open to the change. I'm okay with it. I just was wondering, did we name the entity, and are they able to receive the money? I don't know the requirements to receive the money, or would they possibly subcontract under another entity like Malama Maui Nui or someone that does it? I'm supportive of the idea of, I'm supportive of you naming who you want to do it. I just want to ensure that it doesn't end up as well, I guess it's a revolving fund, so it doesn't, but I just want to make sure that within this fiscal year that the money is able to get to the people that you want it to get to, so that they can do the things that you want them to do. And I'm not sure of what the requirement is to make that happen. So I wouldn't know what the needs are to meet, what you need to meet those requirements.
Right, I would just, and I do have, Chair, I do have another priority under the grassroots collective, but that is just for specific things. So at this point, the only nonprofit that I received for trash removal was Holomua Outreach, but they come under the grassroots collective.
And so that's, you named them for this priority?
Yeah, that was the only one that I received a request for trash removal.
Okay, so supportive of what things he's saying.
Okay, Holomua Outreach. Would be
But their
Under-
fiscal, But their fiscal sponsor would be the Grassroots
Collective. Okay.
Collective.
So
Yeah.
staff, did you get all that with the discussion?
So Chair, just to clarify, I guess the condition would be specifically for, or we'd have to mention that it'd be for Maui Grassroots Collective as the fiscal sponsor for Holomua Outreach?
Correct.
Okay.
For 100,000,
Yeah, up to 100,000.
and you're no longer vehicle. Can you repeat what you want?
No vehicles, just, for grants for the removal of trash and abandoned, to the grantee of abandoned materials and trash.
Okay, got that.
Sorry.
I heard a voice. Anybody have any questions on that? We're good? Ready to vote? Okay. Members, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, that's 9 ayes. Very good. Thank you very
Sorry,
much.
just for the staff, Maui Grassroots Collective, Inc., for the full sponsor name.
Maui Grassroots Collective, Inc.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, very good. And Holomua Outreach is under that, right? Okay, very good. Okay, then Shirley, it's page 6.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, under EPNS, my matrix is page 6. Okay. Now, this is under the Environmental Protection and Sustainability Program. I'm asking for an increase to the operations and equipment fund by $250,000.
Okay, motion made by Chair Lee, second by Member Uhajens.
Okay, and with the condition as follows, up to $250,000 must be for Ka'ehu to manage and restore county shoreline property at, right off Waihu Beach Road, right across Hawaiian Homes. And so they have been in business for quite some time. They have been a grantee of the Green Grants Program, but they need a lot more money. My staff and I did a site visit, and sure enough, there are a lot of things that need to be cleaned up along the shoreline, and they offer a great educational program and volunteer projects program. I ask for the members' support, please. Thank you.
So in your write-up, you also gave the tax map key, so we can include that too? Is that what you want?
You could, if you wanted to, yes.
Okay. Any more discussion? Member Cook.
I'm curious, is the equipment for the group or for the county EPNS?
It's for the group, because the group is there
I'm supportive.
indefinitely. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not there, they're not there for a short while. They're there, they're committed.
No, thanks. I don't have any problem. I was just for clarity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. I rise in full support of the work at Ka'ehu, and I'll just give a couple data points to add to Chair Lee's proposal. 8,000 pounds of marine debris removed in 2024. 500 community members were engaged. 20 cultural stewardship activities completed, and 6 island communities served. That's fascinating data without that money. So imagine what they could do with it. So thank you, Chair Lee, for that. Full support, Chair.
Thank you.
Great. Any other discussion? See none. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 9 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they're taking care of our land, if you think about it, right? Such a good job. Okay, then Member Paulton.
I move to increase category B operations and equipment of part F EPNS. The line item for up to $350,000 must be used for West Maui Green Cycle LLC.
Okay, motion made by Member Paulton and second by Member Hodgins.
Thank you. We did hear testimony, and I know this is a multi-year fund. They had some setback with the fire, but they have informed me they think this is the year that, you know, all the work and preparation and everything is going to come to fruition with the compost, and it's a multi-district project. They have school composting going on in Waihe'e and Kihei as well, I believe. And, you know, one of my staff lives on a pig farm. And, you know, back in the day, like, I don't know when everybody else was in elementary school, but you used to, like, scrape off, and there was, like, the plates weren't disposable and stuff like that. And then the pig folks would collect the slop. And, but then they stopped making, they made disposable plates and silverware, and they let kids just throw it all in one, and then the pigs couldn't eat that slop. And it was like we were training that generation of kids to just be a disposable society. So not only do they keep this waste out of the landfill, it's like retraining our kids of like, don't waste, and to turn it into compost, which we need because we can't really be allowing Home Depot and Lowe's to import the coconut rhinoceros beetle. My husband and son went to Oahu this weekend on their class huaka'i, and you know, my husband was all like, we really can't allow that to come here. So in my mind, we're creating compost, we're diverting waste from the landfill, we're training our kids how to, you know, reuse stuff and not just be such a disposable society. And this is the year that we hope it all comes to fruition and really takes off.
Very good. Boy, George has been learning lots of things with all your stories.
Hikino.
Yeah, Hikino. Oh, did you get a second? Oh, okay, Shirley, okay. All right, we heard the discussion. All in favor? Anybody else? Raise your hand. Say,
Sure.
do you have a discussion?
Sure.
Please. Please,
Yeah,
Member Rollins
yeah.
Fernandez.
I fully support this for all the reasons Member Polton said, for all the reasons that we heard in testimony when we went to the Lahaina, when we had our budget hearing in West Maui. But also, I'm really sad to hear that a lot of, or wherever Member Polton said that the schools aren't collecting food scraps for pig food. That's sad. On Molokai, we still do. So I think it's possible. I just, you know, they have to want to, I guess.
Yeah, a side pilot program that Gretchen was working on was to try and I think it was before the fire, but to reintroduce non-disposable plate and silverware, flatware, whatever you call it. But in many of the cafeterias, they had concrete over the drain that the dishwashers had used. So at one time, she was collecting all the plateware and bringing it to the hotels and having them wash it and then bring it back up. But I think after the fire, that just was not sustainable. But she's really trying to, I guess, get us back to where we used to be before we became such a disposable society.
Oh, I guess I don't understand why the schools don't have the students, you know, separate the food scraps from the plate and the, you know, forks and stuff. Because you can still do that even if it's disposable, which is what our schools do.
DOE is all I can say is it's a question for the DOE, because I guess there's not somebody at the DOE willing to stand there and ensure the kids do it.
Understood.
Without
Mahalo, Member
this-
Polton,
without
for
this
enlightening me.
program.
Got it. Mahalo for that clarification. Mahalo, Chair.
So before you do that, the second came from Member Hodgins. Thank you. Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. You know, I'm a farmer, and I just rise in full support of this. We got to compost as much as we can. Not only is it saves me from going to the big box stores to buy compost full of who knows what, it also is it saves our landfills. You know, and we're looking at landfills getting full up really fast, especially if we talk about building. So these are all good reasons to support this, and thank you, Councilmember Walton. Full support.
Yeah, right. Member Hodgins as the second. And then
Thank
Member
you.
Kama next.
Thank you. I did this growing up, and my kids have to do this at our house now. No food actually goes in our trash at our house, and my house is too old to have a garbage disposal in our sink, so this is my normal. And it should be everybody's normal too, so I'm happy to support this.
Very good. Member Kama.
Thank you, Chair. Boy, I used to do this when I was a kid because the pig farm was right down our house. But the thing is, I'd like to see that time when that comes back, where we have full-fledging running piggeries. I mean, we had piggeries up the yin-yangs in Kalama Valley. And, oh God, I didn't like the smell, I will tell you that, when the guy came on his big truck, his 55-gallon drums. But the day that that happens is the day that we should be funding people who have to stand in line and make sure the kids actually do that until they actually get into the habit that this is for your future that you're doing this. So I am happy to support this. Thank you.
Oh, all of our experience is so interesting. Member Paulton.
You know, anytime you want to visit a pig farm, I'll just call up Christian and maybe he'll let you come to his house and the smells and the sounds and the little piggies.
Okay. So before we vote, I will just add that the Upcountry Farmers Market, there was a piggery, right? Not next to it, but kind of close by. And it was interesting when the wind blew, you knew, and you could hear it too. So it's still around. Okay. All in favor, say aye. This looks like a 9-aye. Yeah. Okay. 9 ayes. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Member Paulton. And thank you for always supporting this project. Many years. So I have a project, residency area 1 is to increase Malama Maui Nui grant and add conditional language for Kula debris removal. And I will entertain a motion to increase 3 grants to Malama Maui Nui by $75,000 and to add the following condition. Up to $75,000 must be for Kula debris removal, hazard mitigation, except that 1-to-1 matching funds be received by Hawaii Community Foundation before the release of county funds.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Wait, somebody has to make the motion for me. I can't do it. Oh, you did. Okay. Member Kama and second by Chair Lee. Thank you. So this came from a discussion. I went to a meeting, an online meeting about debris removal after the fire of Kula residents who are, waiting for NRCS and Central Maui Soil Water Conservation to do this cleanup and debris removal. And the residents were saying that, that money is going to do a portion of the debris removal, but there were other portions that, it did not cover, and it's personal property. And so this nonprofit then would administer grants to the property owners to do their own debris removal. That idea came from a discussion of a good idea, I thought, with Hawaii Community Foundation, and they committed up to $75,000. I think you heard me talking to managing director when he was here that he would have to commit to some funds too. So that's what this is about. Any thoughts? Member Paulton.
I'm supportive. I just, if they don't get the 1-to-1 matching funds from Hawaii Community Foundation, and we're going into the next fiscal year, for me, I don't want to see carryover savings. So what are we gonna do? We're just gonna carry it over if they don't get the, like, how, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so are you asking me if the Hawaii Community Foundation funds are guaranteed or secured?
I guess.
Yeah, so
would be-
that I'm sure of, and that my discussion with Managing Director, when all of you were here and he was before us, I brought this up because I was told to ask him. So I did, and I'm expecting that match to happen.
Within fiscal year 26.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I wish it
Oh,
could happen
Ms.
now.
Toshikio.
Oh, here's Ms. Toshikio. Am I doing something wrong?
No, Chair, thank you. I just had a thought that if we could change to what you just said, where matching funds are received from Hawaii Community Foundation rather than received by, because it sounds like Hawaii Community Foundation is going to be providing the matching funds rather than receiving it.
Okay. Funds are received, what did you say, by Hawaii Community Foundation? From?
It says by right now, but it sounds like Hawaii Community Foundation is actually going to be giving the funds. So it would be from Hawaii Community Foundation.
Okay.
Just to make it fair.
Okay, so, and the other, our office asked Malama Maui Nui, I'm so always impressed with, you know, the legacy that Jan Dapitan has left and all that organization does. So I inquired with them to help us with this, and Member Cook.
Does Malama Nui already have a grant? Do they have a standing grant? Or are they going to have to apply for one with DPS?
So in other words, would Malama Maui Nui have to apply for this?
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah, it would have to be created.
Because we just cut their grants programmer.
Malama Maui Nui.
No,
Oh.
EPNS.
Oh,
I'm just, if people already have a grant and we're funding them,
I see.
then it's easy for them to
Oh, I see what
process
you're
it.
saying.
If it's a new grant and the department has
New
to process
organization.
it, I'm just concerned, do they have the capacity? I'm all supportive of this.
Okay.
I just, similar to what we said, we want to, if we're funding something, we want to make sure that it's, can process and go through in a very short period of time.
Okay, I have a thought, and here's Budget Director popped up.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, council members. I think you already addressed it, so apologies if this is redundant, but I did just want to say that even if an organization is a line item, they are still required to submit an application to the department and go through the review process and meet all of the county's requirements under the county code. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you, Chair.
Right. Wouldn't it be great if they don't have to? That's what we hear. But, yeah. Okay. Members, anything else? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. 9 ayes, motion carries. Thank you very much. My community will be very happy. So I have another one, and this was a replacement because Member Johnson and I had, you know, a similar project. And so this is, I entertain a motion to add under F, Environmental Protection Sustainability Program, Environmental Protection Sustainability Fund, the following condition: up to $380,000 must be for Malama Kula for hazard mitigation and green waste removal. I need somebody to make the motion, but.
Moved.
Okay, I need a second. Thank you. And Member Johnson, you can talk about this. So Member Johnson made the motion, second by Member Kama. And you can say first, and I have also something to add.
Thank you, Chair. Well, first off, let's give a big shout out to Kyle and his crew who've been doing that kind of work up country. I know this is your district, Chair, but I will say that I often hear you say, when we talk about the wildfires, you say, oh, and don't forget Kula. Oh, and don't forget Kula. Well, this is our chance to not forget Kula. So I really want to support this, and I want to thank all those folks who are doing that kind of work up there. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Any other questions? Member Cook? No, okay. So just so you know, Malama Kula is Kyle Ellison. He's like a one-man show. I mean, he's like Mr. Energy, and he does a lot, and he's nonstop. I even saw him on TV this morning, Hawaii News Now. But he has been helping with the mitigation and debris removal after the August 8th, 2023 wildfire. And And he doesn't stop. I mean, when I was talking to him this weekend, he was like sweeping and doing some kind of debris removal also, but he's always there to help people, so I hope you support this. If no other questions, I'm going to ask for the vote.
Sure.
Oh, Member Rollins
Sure.
Fernandez.
How much did you say to Mama Kula?
380,000.
380,000. Is that what he asked for in testimony when we were at the Pukalani Community Center hearing?
I don't know if he asked for that specific amount, but he did ask for this program, and he wrote a white paper on this. Member Johnson and I have it. I don't know if he sent it to all of you. And I can get it to you if you.
Okay. I'm supportive. And I think this 380,000 will yield such huge returns on this investment for the mitigation that they're doing, because we know it's been a very dry, wet season. And, it's not a matter of, whether there will be a fire, not if there will be a fire, there will be more fires, and we have to be smarter. And I appreciate the work that they're doing in being smarter to mitigate the potential risks to everyone that lives up country.
Yeah, thank you.
Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. Member Johnson, you have your hand up? Okay.
Chair, I have the white paper here, but it's 3 pages long. I don't want to read it to the whole, but I'll just try to go over it real quick if you guys don't mind, because I know some folks online don't have it, so.
No, it's okay. I just was asking the amount.
Okay.
Member Johnson, what did he ask for, the amount?
Yep, okay, all right, okay, duly noted. Sounds like members want to go home, but 380,000. Yeah. Okay, I hear you.
Oh, that was what he requested?
Yeah, that was it.
Can you repeat that? Because when you said it, that's just when Member Cook coughed.
Malama Kula respectfully requests 380,000 from the County of Maui. Okay, that's of the 3 pages.
Mahalo, Member Johnson.
That's the gist.
Okay.
Chair?
Yes.
Apologies, staff would just request clarification. So right now, we have down that the motion is just to add a condition. Is that right? Is it just a condition, or does it have a corresponding increase to B account, to category B?
An increase.
Increase and
of fee,
condition?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Chair.
Carry it. Trying to cut, but thank you, everybody. All right, members, anything else for conditions? I think that's the end of it for this department. We are waiting to hear back from Director Milner regarding the rates and fees.
Did we vote on this?
No,
Okay,
we're not done because
Okay.
we have all the rates and fees yet, and it's. Oh, we didn't vote on mine? I thought we did. Okay.
Chair.
I thought I said yes, and thank you.
Okay. yeah.
I think so.
How-
Okay, all in
let's
favor,
vote for
members,
this.
say aye. I
Aye.
have 9 ayes. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Chair, can
For my-
I, before we take a break,
Yeah.
I just want to remind, and before we leave this topic, because it's an important topic, today's Earth Day, everybody. April 22nd, 1970 is when it started. 1 billion people in over 193 countries have been participating in this, so it's very timely when we're talking about EP&S grants. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, certainly is. Okay, all of you will take a break and you could go plant a tree and come back. No.
I have a
Don't leave.
Chair.
Yes. Remember.
Before you
Rollins-
recess.
Rollins Fernandez, yes.
What time are we planning to go till?
So tonight your public hearing starts at 6. Can you all work till 5? Is that too long? Okay, you're good. Well, we're going to be here, I think. Nobody's going to really leave. So, yeah, everybody's awake and doing great. So it's now, 3:20, come back. Are you guys 10 minutes-ish? Okay, we're in recess. All right, everybody, getting there. We are done for right now with environmental management, and the next department is finance, not countywide. So, with finance, it is budget bill pages 7 and 8. Are there any proposed amendments for category A, which is salaries? And after this, we're taking up fire, by the way. Okay. Page 7.
Ready?
Yeah, ready. And so any amendments for category A, which is salaries? And then we'll go B after.
I'll move to cut B6 small a paren 1 category A by 75,000 plus $55,815 of fringe.
Okay. Motion made by Member Paulson, second by Member Hodgins.
Discussion?
Discussion.
So I do want to acknowledge that the new head of finance is making impressive progress to filling their vacancy. Nothing more to say except for I see what work they're doing and they're coming along from previous years, and so the reinstatement of the cut is not as large as last fiscal year.
Okay. Any other questions, discussions? Okay, ready to vote? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. 9 ayes, motion carries. Okay, any more?
I move to cut B6 small c paren 1 category A $75,000 plus $55,815 fringe. Shucks, I neglected to mention in my first motion any associated category B increases due to position expansions
Okay, for both.
for both.
But from A, alongside the fringe cut that will need to be made. But is there something additional that needs to be cut from B?
For the previous motion and this motion, I'm a little bit flying by the seat of my pants because it was 10 o'clock at night by the time I got home and took a shower and ate dinner. So if there's any associated expansion due to position increases for the first motion, I'm proposing to cut those as well.
Okay, so for both, similar. Right? Okay, all in favor, any questions, members? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Member Kama, 9 ayes, okay. Motion carries. Anything else?
I move to cut B6 small d paren 1 category A by 150,000 plus 111,630 of fringe. Oh, I'm complete. If I'll yield to my colleagues.
Okay. Anybody else have any more amendments for category A or B accounts? Okay, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. So, Member Paulton, on page 8.8, Finance Admin Program, this is in relation to your small A cuts in the admin program. For category B, they do have $600,000 for the purchasing of new workstations and furnishings for the second floor. Is that where you wanted to remove some funding in the category B?
No, that is for, they wanted to hire the same group that personnel hired to rearrange their workspace because their workers are having to eat lunch in the conference room or something like that.
Okay.
And I totally support them having like a lunchroom and a better flow, because, you know, a lot of those guys are in Unit 3.
Okay.
And,
Okay. I
There.
just was hoping to give staff some direction on where you might want it, but I get it. Thanks.
yeah, they were gonna hire a consultant. I think that person, they might have seen what personnel did.
Staff will just want to know, right now, yeah, just in a brief review of the details, we're not identifying anything for B as it relates to the admin program. We're scanning the other ones right now, but there doesn't seem to be anything for the real property one either.
Thanks, staff, for catching my back, and we just wanted to vote twice to really emphasize.
Ditto that, huh? That's to rates and fees, excluding real property tax. We're going to be taking that up later. What, you have one what? Oh, okay. So you want to go back to what? Okay. Page 13,
Thank you.
middle-ish. Oh, in rates and fees. Sale of temporary number plates, dealer. Special license plates, right? That's what it is. Oh, here, right below that has National Park.
On page 14, out-of-state vehicle permit, I'd like to raise that to 250.
Second?
Okay, it is now 100, and you want it to go to 250?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's 100. Okay, so motion made by Member Paulton, second by Member Johnson, is that right? Ms. Milner, I don't see her. Oh, I do. Okay, Ms. Milner.
Chair, sorry, if I could just have a moment to double check, because I do know there are some HRS sections that may pertain to that fee. So if I could just have 2 minutes to double check that, I would appreciate it, to see if they set a cap on the amount. Thank you, Chair.
And if there is a cap, I'd like to raise it to that.
Okay. Member Hodgins.
Thank you. Can you clarify for me, Member Paulton? So this is for people who want to keep their out-of-state license plate? Every year they pay this fee?
I'm not sure how often they pay it, but that was my understanding, the folks that want to keep their out-of-state stuff.
Out-of-state vehicle permit. Okay, that's not like if somebody was to buy a car from America, ship it in, and then they pay for some transfer fee, or no?
So I'm not 100% sure, but my understanding is, like, you know, even if you buy it in another state and you ship it over here, you register it here.
Yeah.
The belief is that, you know, if you stay over here, if you bring it over here and it's already, like, it's not a brand new car or something, and you just want to keep your plates because you're not sure if you want to move back or whatever, and pay twice. I think if you're going to bring your whole car here, you should commit or pay money.
Yeah, I'm only asking because it says out-of-state vehicle permit. So I'm just curious what that is. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And for me, I mean, I guess if we're doing, oh, I see Miss Milner.
You can slip the rate. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Paulton. Yes, so I found HRS 28654 does say that changes in the amount of the administrative costs shall be established by the county's legislative body.
Oh, so we can do anything.
Yeah, it says whenever a vehicle is registered under this section, the sum of $5 shall be assessed against the owner of the vehicle to defray the administrative costs incurred by the county. Subsequent changes in the amount of the administrative costs shall be established by the county's legislative body. Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
And so did I
That's
get a
good.
second?
Um,
So, for my discussion is, I don't know about you guys in your district, but driving all over the west side, I see so many out-of-state, vehicle plates, and it's just, like, where are those people gonna live, and are they gonna take housing from the people that already lived here and really need it? And so there's that, and if they're not gonna register their car in Hawaii, what's their long-term plan? You know, are they gonna move back over there and not have to re-register it over there or whatever? So it's like, yeah, live here or sleep here or commit, you know?
okay. Any other discussion? Oh, Member Hajens.
Because I do have a problem of behaving like my children and thinking everybody is like Google and I can just ask them a question instead of just Googling it myself. Or as my kids say, search it up, because different eras now they get different search engines. But the AI overview for this is to legally operate an out-of-state vehicle in Hawaii. You'll need to obtain a out-of-state vehicle permit from the relevant county's vehicle and registration licensing division within 30 days of the vehicle's arrival. This permit allows you to operate the vehicle with your out-of-state registration plates for a limited time, typically until your out-of-state registration expires, or for 12 months, whichever comes first. You'll then need to transfer to Hawaii registration if you plan to keep the vehicle in Hawaii beyond that period. So happy to support. Thanks, Chair.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Shikio.
Oh,
Hi, Chair.
hi.
Yeah, thank you. And as it relates to the HRS section that Ms. Milner was referencing, it does tie the fee for, I guess, to defray the administrative costs incurred by the county. So if you could put that in the record as well as how it relates to defraying the administrative costs, that would be great.
Sure.
Okay. Got it? Ready?
Oh, did she want me to say that, how it defrays the?
Yes, please.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
please. Because the fee is tied to the administrative costs for the county.
So, you know, we have chronic number of vacancies in our DMVL section. And, you know, for us to take this time to assist folks who are out of state takes away from our residents, our tax-paying residents who have been here multiple years. And so, you know, if they want to cut the line before our residents, this is the defrayment of that expense.
Okay. All right, Shirley.
I just wanted to hear Christina's reaction or reply to that explanation. Because, yeah, technically, well, not technically, but every fee has to have a cost. And nothing to do with justice, but a cost, an actual cost. So, Corp Counsel, could you make your comment on that, please?
Yes, I just was hoping to get it on the record how the increase in the fee is relating to the cost to the county to administer these out-of-state permits. So,
Ms. Toshihio, could it be
but that's, you know,
because of
Go
our,
ahead,
you know,
sorry.
our chronic vacancies? There may be overtime costs involved and extra work. We're trying to do all we can for our residents, and now we have to accommodate not only our residents, but folks from out of state as well, while we have these chronic vacancies for multiple years.
yes, that would work. I mean, there's a basis for that. Thank you.
Mr. Hanano, you have something to say?
Yes. So just in general, you know, when we're talking about charging a fee for something, the idea is, like Chair Lee said and Ms. Toshikyo said, it has to be associated with a cost. So you can't charge a fee that is greater than what it costs, because then that'll be considered a tax. So that's why when we try to figure out these fees, and, you know, when we come to an amount, we want to make sure that it's tied to a cost and not something greater than that, because then it would be a tax, and then that's a whole nother thing that we have to get into.
Loaded, so when we're fully staffed, we'll roll it back.
Right. And, that goes into the equation. If you're paying someone overtime because you're short-staffed, then of course, it's going to cost more to administer that service. So I just wanted to point that out. In general, that's the idea between a fee and a tax.
Thanks. No, I learned something.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Member Johnson?
So to your point, do you think our discussion here covers our bases? Because Councilmember Paulton also brought up the sheer number of increased people driving around with out-of-state plates. Obviously, there's more administration costs just because there's simply more cars we have it.
That's correct, Councilmember Johnson. So, that whole equation, that all those factors go into the equation of how much you'll, cost to administer the service.
So to be clear, it's $100 now. You're not requiring us to say how much per license it costs, like $170 or X. We're not required to come up with an actual number, or are we?
Public math.
Well, I think in general, like I said, if you're charging a fee for service, then it should not be more than what it costs to administer the service. So in this case, this falls under the Department of Finance. So, they should do their calculations, and if they feel that it's over and above what it costs to administer the service, then, that might be a concern.
So if we're spending X amount of dollars in overtime every year for the Department of Finance, wouldn't that be, we're under what it would cost, I would assume, because we're short-staffed and we're paying for overtime for these folks, so.
Well, like I said, that goes into the equation as far as, whether or not the fee is more than what it costs to administer the service. Definitely, if there's overtime involved, of course, that's going to raise the fee they can charge. In this case, whether it is above, I don't know. I'm just saying that in general, that's the factors that you consider when you set a fee.
So is it an impossible question to answer right now? Because my question is it safe to do at 250 is the motion on the floor?
Yeah, I think maybe we can, that's what is on the table for discussion. It would maybe help if finance could verify, whether or not that's within the range.
We're spending a lot of time on this, Chair. I'm fine. My questions are done.
Yeah. Member Wu Hodgins.
Thank you. I know we're on finance right now, but can somebody tell me if MPD has access to databases that's not within our state? So if this person who's driving an out-of-state license plate gets, say, busted for speeding and driving in a kid's school zone, are police officers not doing a whole bunch of overtime to figure out who this person is, or all of the extra research that comes with somebody who's maybe not licensed here and drives an out-of-state car? Or how does this work? I know we're talking about finances and the registration of an out-of-state car, but what about all the other things that every other licensed driver is required to do here, and the impacts that it has to the other departments, like let's say police?
That's a pretty complex question, but in general, the Department of Motor Vehicles does keep extensive records with regard to somebody's driver's licensing status. So it is not normally in-depth research that they have to do. They'll pull up the driver's licensing record and it will all be there, and you can get it in a matter of seconds, or the police can get it. There are costs associated with when we prosecute somebody for that driving violation or that crime, if it rises to that level, and DMV staff would then need to produce a report and perhaps testify on that. but that's different and not related to the fee that you could charge for this particular entry in the
Okay.
appendix B.
Okay, thank you. I was just trying to see how else we could maneuver this, but I appreciate that answer.
Okay, Chair Lee.
I think the bottom line is that we need to get more feedback from finance, DMV, because if they determine their cost is X, we can't fudge that. We can't change that. Okay. So maybe we can just hold off on this one.
Okay,
Okay, I'll withdraw. I have another one though.
okay, so withdraw.
Yeah, I'll withdraw my second,
All
Chair.
right, so we withdraw that.
On page 12.
Oh, I just want to say something real quick. Oh, Chair.
Okay, member Ramos Fernandez.
I know, hello, Chair. I know the motion has now been withdrawn, but there are a bunch of things, such as a CD that data is put on that then individuals are charged $100 for during election time from the clerk's office. And I know it doesn't, it's 500?
For the CD-ROM of, is 500.
It's 500 now?
For,
Okay, I know it doesn't.
Page 14, real property tax map CD-ROM, $500.
So if that's $500, I don't know. It just, I don't see how that matches the administrative cost, honestly, for some of the things. I just needed to add that since we were like highly scrutinizing the $100 admin fee for processing of an out-of-state license plate. If that's 500, then, I'm sure we're giving the out-of-state license plate applicants a discounted deal at $100. Mahalo.
Okay,
And for my next motion,
sure.
on page 12, I'd like to amend account 3288. I move to change small a to 800, small b to 50, and small c to $50.
Okay, so the first 800, from 640 to 800.
640 to 800, 15 to 50 on B and C.
Okay. Okay, motion made by member Paulton, second by member Sinensi.
So, we just gave 500,000 to Maui Marine Resource Center, 100,000 to Huyuka Viola to ensure that, our marine waters, our nearshore waters are like livable, swimmable, fishable, drinkable kind of things. And then we're allowing folks to take that marine life out for such a small fee. And we're trying to restore our ecosystems, our nearshore waters. I don't think that people should just take for, aquarium businesses or whatever for such a low fee.
Okay, any other discussion, questions? See none, all in favor, who, you want to, member Uhaje?
I'm happy to support this, don't get me wrong. This is good. Just in light of the last conversation, just making sure that we can, this for the attorneys.
Mr. Hanano?
I don't think we've raised it in the 7 years I've been here, and, everything costs more.
I'm sorry, I missed the, what fee that was?
Aquatic life operations permits to remove aquatic life
3288.
from our oceans.
So generally for all fees, we should get, some kind of verification from the department that, it doesn't exceed the cost of what it costs to administer the service.
Okay.
And I guess for my discussion, the cost to administer this service to ensure that there is this aquatic life is much greater than 600,000 we have appropriated just now. I mean, I'm not gonna charge them 600,000, although I wouldn't mind, but I don't think, I'd get support. Cause I mean, if they're gonna take our fish, they should be contributing to those.
Okay, so, Mr. Hanano, do you think we should ask then, the budget office to get a reading on this?
Member Rollins Fernandez has her hand up.
Yes, yes, Chair.
You are, okay. Member Rollins Fernandez, then Member Hodgins.
Mahalo, Chair. Remember a few years ago when we asked or we put funding into the budget for the planning department to do a cost recovery study? And we found that we were heavily subsidizing all permits and not charging fees that match the administrative cost of processing the applications for those permits. I would assume that is true for so many of the permits. And so if you wanted to have that true cost, I think it would take that level of like analysis. And so I think, what was the proposal, Member Bolton?
800,000 or 850 and 50.
I support 800,000. Mahalo. 850, okay.
850 and 50. Okay, any other discussion? So, Mr. Hanano is, excuse me, but Mr. Hanano is saying that we should check with DMV. About what the actual costs are for the fees, so. Are you asking us to put this on the side and look at it after we hear from the administration?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, Member Paulton, we'll add this to the list. Is that all right?
Yeah, and you know, all our regulations and administering of the SMA, on my search it up, it says Maui County's role, well, the DLNR is responsible for issuing aquatic life operation permits. Maui County may have its own regulations or ordinances regarding activities within the county, particularly within the special management area. You may need to obtain permits or approvals from the Maui County Planning Department for projects within the SMA. And we know that our planning commission and the whole SMA is overworked. And so this is an increased burden on them.
Okay, thank you. We all agree. So staff, can you put this on the to return list?
So Chair, should we consider this motion tabled for the time being?
Yeah, okay. Okay, this one plus, what is your other one, Member Paulton?
Chair.
Member Rollins
Chair.
Fernandez,
Mahalo, Chair. I think
the license plate.
tabling so many, I mean, the point of like, process is to not make it too cumbersome. And so if staff, I think like tabling so many, kind of like defeats the whole point of having like a process, because then it starts to, you lose track.
Okay,
So I think it's just as easy to just withdraw.
are you willing to withdraw?
I am willing, ready, and able.
Willing and able, okay, you and Member Senensi, and then the other one is on the license plate, so both of them. We'll just withdraw and revisit. Can you keep a list? Yeah. So I have Member Kama, and then Member
So-
Hodgins.
So at any given time during our BFED meetings, when we're out of this, could we actually send a letter to finance and ask them those questions? Because we might want to do this next year, but I think we want to know the answer.
I think we want to know the answer so we can take action now.
Well, I don't know.
But
We just want to.
it sounds like,
I
yeah.
don't know. Sounds like Tamara might want to withdraw. I'm not sure.
Well,
I just
she
wanna be
withdrew
sure.
both,
She
the
did.
two, license plate and the one about the aquatic.
Well, I'd want them to do the whole thing. And
Oh,
if we're gonna
all.
redo, if we're gonna take a look at this next year, why cherry pick? Just look at all of them and see if they all actually fit. If we have been all these years, not charging what we should really be charging.
Undercharging. Okay.
for some of
I
these
guess,
fees.
too, we could see what the cost of a study costs, divide that by all the fees and whatever, maybe.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. And here comes Miss Yoshimura. Um, So I have a question on this also, is that in my community, I have a whole bunch of trailer homes popping up, or tiny homes that are on wheels. Where is it in here, Mr. Hanano or?
Molokai. No, she's raising her hand.
Oh, Member Rollins Fernandez.
I don't have the answer to your question. I didn't see it in here. I think those, anyway. This will give Mr. Hanano some time to look for the answer to your question. But what I was going to say is that I suspect a lot of the permits are actually subsidized, as I was saying, with planning department permits. And so I don't think it's not legal for us to decide on which permit applications we would want to subsidize. And we can then, choose for those that we don't want to subsidize as heavily to pay the actual cost of the administrative work that it takes to process the applications instead of subsidizing those. So I don't personally need to see a cost recovery study for all of the permits listed in Finance Department. If there are only a few that we would like to understand what the administrative cost actually is, I could be supportive of that. I think Member Paulton introduced two that I would be supportive of. Mahalo, Chair.
Member Uhajins.
Thank you. I too was going to kind of get a little bit of a hair splitting moment, but as we begin the Department of Finance, in the beginning it says business licenses, permits, and then non-business licenses and permits, which is where we're talking about making changes. And then it creates another subsection with fines, forfeits, and penalties, and then uses of money, and then charges for current services, which is where Member Rollins Fernandez was talking about the $500 CD-ROM, which is very old school, by the way. I would think it's on a different version now, but that's a charge for current services, whereas these permits don't necessarily specify that it's a charge for current services, but if it was a charge for current services, I'm confused on why selling firearms for an annual fee of $10 and an auctioneer fee would have a $90 difference.
I know the answer.
Please.
The state, I tried to raise that firearm thing before, and we don't have authority. It's under the state legislature that's what it has to be.
And then all of them have different fees. And we did changes to the taxi cab businesses before this, and we didn't necessarily need a study to see what they were doing. We just heard from them, and they said these are our issues. So we made a bunch of changes to the taxi cab businesses and drivers. And then aquatic life operations is right below that. I know I'm the reason why we're not doing this right now, because I wanted the lawyer's opinion, but I might disagree with them, but that's okay.
Member Paulton.
Just extra information, and a point is, if you look at the column to the right where it says HRS, that means that there's a state law saying what we can and cannot do. Because I tried to raise the gun thing before, and they said you cannot do that. But in the planning department, we found that the county didn't have a procedure for analyzing the planning department's cost of providing services, and a comprehensive study had not been conducted in more than 25 years. And I would say the same is the same is true for finance. And so the county does not have a method for updating its fees annually via consumer price index or other factors. And so I'm using my best guesstimate.
Okay, so, I guess, Mr. Hanano. I looked at the trailers on page 16, license and permits, and it's, there's trailers there. So is that where all those tiny homes in Pukalani that are on wheels, they have to get their DMV license? Is this where it is? Electric vehicle, highway improvement fee.
Sorry, Chair, what page is that?
Oh, it's on page 16, and the reason I'm asking is, when I went to talk to a lot of them, they just said, oh yeah, we're legal because we get a permit from DMV, and then we hang it up, and then we're able to have this vehicle on wheels, I'm sorry, home on wheels under the DMV license. And this is trailers, is this where it is? The top?
Yeah, I'm not sure, Chair, on that answer.
Okay.
It would depend on, I think, the way the HRS is set up, it's by vehicle weight, generally. So, if that's the case, then it would depend on the weight of this vehicle and what it's classified as.
Okay, so since we're looking at other items, can we also look at that too? And I'll move forward. Oh, Ms. Milner?
Aloha Chair, aloha members. Yes, my understanding right now, if we're still talking about the tiny homes, is that there may be a building permit cost associated with it, depending on the type of structure. But if it were a mobile trailer, then it would have the DMV charge. But I'm happy to discuss this further with the departments. But I don't think there's anything in rates and fees that is tiny home specific as of yet. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so you're going to get back to us then. Okay, thank you. Members, are any other discussion regarding rates and fees for finance? No? Okay, great. So, let's see. Rates and fees, member priorities, there's none. So are we all good with finance? We're going to move forward, and we're not going to be able to complete it because we have that whole discussion going on about compensation. Next, we have, you want to take a little break?
Oh, I have just a little bit of stuff and we can just power through it if you guys all work with me.
Okay, go ahead. What are you on?
Yeah, after I'm done, we can break for dinner. I'd like to, we're on fire and public safety.
Oh, okay, we are going to move. Okay, you want to take a break after finance? Like a short break or?
No, I'd like to take a break after I do these cuts.
Okay, so we're now going to take up fire, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, fire is Bill 41, page 9. And anybody have amendments for column A? Member Paulton, we'll just have you speak.
Okay.
Page 9.
For B7 small a paren 1 category A, I would like to cut $178,352 plus fringe, which I did not calculate because I'm not sure which is uniform officers and which is not uniform officers, and the fringe is different. So I'll have OCS sort that out for us. And if I get a second, then I'll go into discussion.
Okay, so motion made by Member Paulton, second by Member Sinensi. Can you give us the alphabets that is connected to?
B7 small a paren 1 category A.
Okay. Okay. Motion made
And for my discussion, I'm cutting all the funding for expansion positions to get them to the open recruitment phase. If they get to the open recruitment phase earlier than anticipated, vacancy money can be used to hire if they get to the open recruitment prior to the next fiscal year. And I spent a lot of time on this budget trying to make accurate cuts, but it's difficult when you're not given accurate information. And I've been over this with personnel and the budget, and personnel has position IDs that they've updated from 2023, earlier in 2024, that aren't reflected in the budget details. There's SR 17 or salary ratings and steps with different values attached to it. There's firefighter 1 positions, which we all know everybody comes in at the bottom step, but they're not replaced back to that bottom step. So that's some of the padding that I don't feel comfortable with, that we're being given loosey-goosey, inaccurate information. And so while I normally wouldn't be so drastic in my cuts to the fire department because we need them, if I'm not given accurate information, then it's harder. I spend hours like, why is it like this? Going down to the 6th floor talking to those folks, like, why is it like this? We asked for the list of vacancies with the position ID numbers. I look at their vacancies, they're saying like 30 something, and then I look at what personnel gives us and it says 60 something. So it's very difficult to be accurate and precise when we're not given accurate and precise information. So that's part of my thing. And if you look at the carryover savings, there is carryover savings annually, so.
Frustrating. Okay, thank you very much. Any other discussion, members?
Chair, could you repeat the cut?
It's $178,352, which is the entirety of the expansion position amounts, not cutting it to 4 months funding, just cutting that whole thing. If they are able to create the positions before next fiscal year, which, I've heard annually that they'll do, but I've never really seen it that much, then they can use vacancy funds. I didn't calculate the fringe because the fringe is different if it's a uniformed officer or not, and I'm not sure which of these are supposed to be what.
Okay. Members, any other discussion? If not, we can vote. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Okay, 9 ayes, motion carries. Chair Lee, Chair Lee's not there. 8 is Chair Lee's excuse, 8 ayes. Okay, next.
Next is B7 small a paren 1 category B. I move to cut 50,000.
Okay. Motion made by Member Paulton, second by Member Sinensi.
So this is for partially expansion-related expenses, partially for the web page, and partially for the CIP consultants.
Okay. Any other discussion? I think when the department answered the questions, they said that the web page, the communication person was in excess. So you're right on. Okay, here comes Chair Lee. Okay, anybody else have anything to discuss? If not, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Oh, Chair Lee is voting too, so that'll be 9 ayes. Oh. Okay. All right, anything else?
I move to cut B7 small c paren 1 category A by 100,000 plus a fringe of $85,220.
85,220 fringe. Did you say?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Member Paulton made the motion, second by Member Sinensi.
For my discussion, the carryover in this category in fiscal year 23 was 1.27 million, and in fiscal year 24 it was over 3.03 million. So I'm just reducing a small portion.
Okay. very good. Any other discussion, members? All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 9 ayes, motion carries.
I move to cut B7, small e, paren 1, category A by 250,000 with a fringe cut of $186,050.
Okay. Okay, second. Motion made by Member Paulton, second by Member Senensi. Member Paulton.
The carryover in fiscal year '23 was $957,301, and in fiscal year '24 was over 1.01 million, sorry. So just reducing a small portion of this.
Okay. All right, any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Okay, 9 ayes, motion carries.
And for my last one, I'm not sure in which section it goes, but on page 290 of the program budget, there was a miscalculation to lease purchases. And so we need to add in $8,166 to that. Page 3 of the April 15th transmittal verified that an incorrect amount was listed.
Okay, here's Ms. Milner.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember. I'd like to double check the transmittal. My recollection is that 2 numbers on that chart were just inverted. So no additional funds need to be added.
Yeah, if
or
you
taken
can
away.
look at
Thank you,
the
Chair.
April 15th transmittal, page 3.
Okay, staff, you got that? Another follow-up, right?
I can read it. It says, the department equipment total on page 290 of the program budget shows $9,833,776, but the subfund total on page 9-2 of the budget details show $8,473,336. By adding the totals of the revolving fund and grant revenue fund, the total equipment should equal $9,841,942. Please confirm whether the department's equipment total is $9,833,776 or $9,841,942. Yes, the total equipment is $9,841,942.
Okay. Are we waiting for Ms. Milner? Or you're fine, right? Yeah. Okay. There she is. Ms. Milner? Oh, are you popping?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Paulton. Sorry, I was popping in and out. I didn't want to interrupt. Yes, I believe that's just a typo. The budget details are correct. It's just that page 290 was incorrect, and we will update that for the final version of the program budget.
Okay, I'll withdraw that.
Okay, very good. Okay, any others for fire? None. Okay, so for fire, which next would be, we did A and B, so I would like to take up CIPs, budget bill 24, on pages 24 to 25.
Chair?
Yes.
For CIPs, I'd like to, I wonder if this is now the time to see if we can take some of these CIP projects and put them to bond instead of cash.
Yeah.
Would you like to do that now?
Yeah, you can do that. I had a motion to do that too, so go ahead. I think you're looking at the same thing, or
Okay.
maybe,
So I'll just go from exactly page 25 in bill number 41. there's two projects, the Haiku Fire Station and the Kula Fire Station Apparatus Bay. The CBS numbers are as following: CBS-1002 and CBS-8918. The Haiku Fire Station is proposed at 3.4 million, and the Kula Fire Station Apparatus Bay is proposed at 3,080,000. Yeah. So according to this letter from Director Milner, if she wants to reconfirm it, but basically the letter was, we were asking which projects, CIP projects, can be bonded instead of cash, and these were on the list for this department. So if you're ready, I move to make these two projects bond funded instead of cash.
Okay. Okay, motion made by Member Johnson, second by Member Sinensi. Any more discussion?
Chair, if you allow Ms. Milner, just reconfirm what I just stated, so that way everybody's on the up and up.
Okay, Ms. Milner. It's her letter. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Yes, those are the two projects from fire that we feel would be appropriate to move to bond. Mahalo.
Okay.
Okay, great. We got to get that fire station built
Yeah.
in Haiku, you know, it's been waiting and waiting, so.
Yeah, I guess I will say for the record, this, of course, in my opinion, does not slow down these projects. They're highly crucial. It's just a matter of using bond instead of cash. I want to make that very clear for our community. This does not, no intention to slow down these projects. We need to go full bore with them, but it's a way to free up some cash. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, very good. Any other discussion? No. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's 9 ayes. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Okay, let me put that away. So Appendix A, Part 1 grants, page 41, 42. Does anyone have any proposed amendments to this for fire and public safety? Probably none. Okay, next we have Appendix A, Part 2, Special Purpose Revenues. The funds are the fire hazard removal revolving fund, page 47, plan review processing and inspection revolving fund, fire section 16.04D060 Maui County Code, page 48, and the fireworks revolving fund on page 55. Anybody have any amendments? I wish we could, it's page 47, 48, and 55. Any amendments?
Didn't we need to earmark the funding from this morning's testimony from Budget Director Milner for fire? I forget which one. I thought she was going to send it in fire hazard.
Okay. Okay, so that's going to be one that put on the list to hear back. Yeah?
Or can she magically pop up and tell us what to do?
There she is.
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo, members. Yes, I submitted an email after my testimony this morning, but for the record, the request is to amend the operating budget fire prevention program to add an earmark that says transfer $250,000 to the fire hazard removal revolving fund.
Fire hazard, okay, right here. Okay.
So moved.
I need a second. Okay, so motion made by Member Paulton, second by Member Hodgins, and we will look for the email. You got the email from Ms. Milner? You do. Okay, we're good. Okay. So, is there one more? Oh, okay, we got to vote. Did we make the motion, Paulton and Member Hodgins, and all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Member Kama? Yeah, okay. So 9 ayes, motion carries. Okay.
Chair?
Yes.
I don't believe Councilmember Johnson is present.
Ah, okay. So 8 ayes, 1 excuse. Here he comes. Member Johnson. He's voting aye, so that's 9 ayes. Soon you will hit your desk. Okay, 9 ayes, motion carries. Correct? Yep. Any others? So Appendix B, which is rates and fees, page 17 to 18. Are there any amendments? I know, we wish we could charge a lot for fireworks, but. Okay, yeah. See
You
none?
gotta call up your friends over there at the state legislature to let us charge more.
I know. I don't know if that helps though, right? Just adds to the fun. People still do illegals. It's so frustrating.
Chair?
Anything? Yes.
Apologies to backtrack. It's just regarding the change for the, to move the 2 projects from the general fund to the bond fund, the Kula Fire Station Apparatus Bay and the Haiku Fire
Apparatus,
Station.
yeah.
Did the body also want to add those 2 projects to the bond authorization ordinance, Bill 43?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe if
have
it's
to make a
maybe a
motion.
motion for clarity.
So moved.
Okay. Right. Motion made by Member Johnson, second by Chair Lee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Move this to Bill, what, 43, did you say? Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. Apologies for that, members.
Thank you for that. Anything else? Staff, that's it? Yeah, okay. So then we are actually done with fire. Perfect timing.
Now we can do whatever you want.
Now it's dinner? Is that what you mean? Okay. Thank you, everybody. It is now 4:33. I'm gonna, this item we will take up, as you know, tomorrow we'll pick up, and we'll have, is it human concerns tomorrow morning? Human concerns?
Chair,
or human concerns?
what, can you tell us what you want us to prepare for tomorrow?
Yeah, so we're gonna take liquor, we're gonna take human concerns, liquor, housing, and I would love to get management just to kind of continue on with the calendar, but, so, human concerns, liquor, housing, and management. And management, if we can get there.
I have a question.
Yes.
On the liquor one, we're not gonna take it from countywide. Did they get a salary increase too? Would they
did.
propose their own increase
Because they're
in?
self-funded, yeah.
Yeah.
Deputy Director Kawasaki.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I was speaking to Mr. Hanano.
For the liquor fund, if the director and deputy director got an increase, we're not gonna take that from the county wide, and I don't feel comfortable monkeying around with their stuff. So do they have a proposal on how to fund their salary increases?
I think that would be an interfund transfer from the countywide into that fund, but I defer to Ms. Milner and Ms. Toshikio. We were discussing this earlier today, not particularly with regard to liquor, but what we were told earlier today is that the general budget provision that you see attached to Bill 41, if you take a look at Section 20, that applies to all departments, and that would allow for the transfer of the money. And I invite them to correct me if I didn't understand them correctly earlier today.
I don't want to transfer the money though. I want the liquor fees to pay for their raise because
They're self-funded.
they have enough money. I mean,
The budget director is raising her hand.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Milner.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Paulton. So on page 13-5 of the budget details, there's a line item for salary adjustments for funding in anticipation of the collective bargaining agreement. That should also say, and director increases. So that fund and the water fund, they already built in those increases into their own budgets, so no transfer from countywide is necessary. Thank you, Chair.
And it looks sufficient amount?
Oh, Ms. Milner.
I believe so, yes.
Thank
Thank you, Chair. I believe so.
Okay. So before we leave this, I have a related condition for fire, as you all may have, I'm trying to find it. So, where is it? So mine is related to the settlement of the firefighters' hazard pay. And I'm gonna.
Is that countywide? Are we doing countywide?
I actually, I mean, I don't know if it's countywide or fire.
Oh,
It's in countywide, okay,
It's countywide.
okay. Then we'll take it up later then. Okay, anything else, members? Nothing. Yes, yes.
Just checking with you, you withdrew the Kahumanu church repairs,
We didn't take that up yet.
but you are for your priorities.
Oh,
Because we just had the duplicate deadline
Yeah,
5 minutes ago.
I still have it.
Oh, you still
Unless
have it?
if, yeah,
Oh,
I still
okay.
have it.
You still want us to send in alternatives?
Yeah, for that, he and I, staff, so Kahumanu Church, Thursday night when they came and testified, I had expressed that I have them as one of my priorities, and Member Senensi said he also did. And that he's, are you asking if you could submit another one? Or what? Is that what you're asking? Okay. So Kahumanu Church is in there.
We'll check on that, Chair, but yes, if there's a duplication and it sounds like, then it would sound like that your priority would remain and Councilmember Senensi would provide a replacement?
Okay,
It'll
that's in OED.
be another church.
Yeah. In Hana, you said, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, members, we're going to defer this and we will take this up tomorrow. Unless if you want to come back after the public hearing and continue working. No? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this meeting is now adjourned. It's 4:38.